It sounds too absurd to be true. One of history's greatest playwrights, killed by a falling tortoise. The legend goes that around 456 BC, the Greek tragedian Aeschylus stepped into the Sicilian sun and never returned. A high-flying eagle, searching for a rock on which to crack open its prey, saw the gleam of a bald head. It mistook it for stone. The bird released its burden. The tortoise fell. The blow was fatal. That moment, whether true, symbolic, or mythic, became one of the most surreal deaths recorded in ancient history. Yesterday's Craziness presents The Strangest Deaths from Throughout History, a monthly video celebrating someone's untimely demise in a strange, crazy, or interesting way. Aeschylus, born around 524 BC in Eleusis near Athens, is often called the father of tragedy. He helped elevate Greek drama from simple choral recitations into complex, multi-character plays that tackled fate, war, and divine justice. Works like The Persians, Seven Against Thebes, and the Oresteia trilogy still define tragic form today. He fought at Marathon, was praised by his contemporaries, and was eventually honored in Sicily, where he spent his final years. His death, however, is remembered more than his work by many, not because it was noble, but because it was bizarre. According to ancient sources like Valerius, Maximus, and Pliny the Elder, Aeschylus had been warned by an oracle, "Beware of death from above." Taking the prophecy literally, he spent his days outdoors to avoid falling debris from roofs. Ironically, his precaution may have delivered the exact outcome he feared. As the Roman naturalist Pliny would later record, a passing eagle dropped a tortoise directly onto his exposed skull. There are no contemporary Greek sources to confirm this. The earliest versions of the story come from Roman authors centuries later. That hasn't stopped the tale from enduring. Scholars and skeptics alike question its veracity, yet it persists, recounted in classrooms, trivia lists, and books of unusual deaths. So why does this story survive? In part, because it embodies classical irony. Like the myth of Oedipus, where efforts to avoid fate bring it to pass, Aeschylus's death illustrates the tragic inevitability he so often dramatized. It also captures ancient anxieties around prophecy, randomness, and the cruelty of the gods, or nature. From a symbolic lens, the eagle may have represented Zeus, and the tortoise, terrestrial mortality. Some scholars even speculate the story originated as metaphor, only to be later misinterpreted as literal fact. But then there's art. The Renaissance painter Tobias Verhecht rendered the tale with morbid elegance in a surviving sketch, showing an eagle mid-flight, a man unaware, and the tortoise plummeting earthward. It's a visual punchline to a philosophical riddle. Others view the story through the lens of theater itself. Aeschylus, master of orchestrated suffering on stage, becomes a character in his own final drama, one that blends hubris, omen, and absurd death. It's tempting to imagine the gods penning his end like one of his scripts, complete with dramatic irony and a thunderous conclusion. While the details may be suspect, what's certain is that Aeschylus's legacy outlived the tortoise tale. His innovations, adding a second actor to the stage, deepening character interaction, exploring justice and retribution, laid the foundation for all future drama. Sophocles and Euripides built upon his forms, and the structure of Western tragedy still bears his fingerprints. But his death reminds us that the ancients, for all their reverence, loved a good story, even about their heroes, especially when it involved the cosmos, fate, and a flying reptile. In a way, the tortoise story has become its own kind of Greek drama, a compact narrative of fear, prophecy, irony, and cosmic timing. Whether or not it happened, it feels true to the world Aeschylus himself imagined, where the divine watches closely, fate moves in silence, and no one escapes the strange choreography of destiny. If you liked what you watched, please like and subscribe. We post interesting and crazy stories from throughout history every Wednesday and Saturday. Yesterday's Craziness, because yesterday was crazy too.